86. Wood Mother, lending power, conquers the fiendish creature. Metal Squire, using his magic, extirpates the deviates. We were telling you about the great sage Sin who, as he led the horse and toted the luggage, was searching and calling for his master all over the summit. It was then that he saw Ju 8 Rules run up to him, panting hard and saying, "Elder brother, why are you hollering? Master has disappeared," replied Pilgrim. "Have you seen him?" "Originally," said 8 Rules, "I followed the Tang monk to be a priest. But you have to make fun of me again, telling me to play the general. I took enormous risk to fight with that monster spirit for quite some time before I came back here with my life. You and Sha Monk, however, were supposed to be guarding Master. How is it that you're asking me instead?" Pilgrim said, "Brother, I'm not blaming you. Perhaps you were a little dazed and didn't realize that you had allowed the monster spirit to slip back here to seize Master. I went to strike at the monster spirit, relying on Sha Monk to guard Master. Now even Sha Monk has disappeared." "Sha Monk," said 8 Rules with a giggle, "must have taken Master somewhere to drop his load." Hardly had he finished speaking when Sha Monk appeared. "Sha Monk," asked Pilgrim, "where has Master gone? Both of you must have been seeing double," said Sha Monk. "And that's why you allowed the monster spirit to slip back here to try to seize Master. Old Sand took off to fight with him, but Master should be sitting by himself on the horse." All at once Pilgrim became so enraged that he jumped up and down as he cried, "We've fallen for their plan. We've fallen for their plan." "What sort of a plan?" asked Sha Monk. "This," replied Pilgrim, "is called the plan of plum blossoms with parted petals, which they used to split us brothers apart before they dashed right into our midst to haul Master away. Heavens! 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 What shall we do?" As he spoke, he could hardly hold back the tears rolling down his cheeks. "Don't cry," said 8 Rules. "Once you cry, you turn into a namby-pamby. He can't be very far, for he has to be somewhere in this mountain. Let's go search for him." With no better alternative, the 3 of them had to enter the mountain to begin their search. After they had journeyed some 20 miles, they reached a cave dwelling beneath a hanging cliff, with steep summits half appearing, and strange rocks so rugged, rare blossoms and plants most fragrant, red apricots, green peaches most luscious, the old tree before the ledge. Its skin, 40 spans, is frost white and rain resistant. The hoary pine beyond the door, its jade green hues rise skyward 2,000 feet. Wild cranes in pairs come oft before the cave to dance in the breeze. Mountain fowl in twos would perch on the boughs to sing in the sun. Clusters of yellow vines like hanging ropes. Rows of misty willows like dripping gold. A square pond storing up water. A deep cave close to the mountain. A square pond storing up water. Conceals an aged dragon which has yet to change. In a deep cave close to the mountain lives one man-eating old fiend of many years. In truth, no less than an immortal's lair. This place that gathers in the wind and air. On seeing the cave dwelling, Pilgrim in 2 or 3 steps bounded right up to the door to examine it more closely. The stone door was tightly closed, but across the top of the door was a slab of stone bearing this inscription in large letters, "The Mist-Concealing Mountain. The Broken Peak, Joined Ring Cave." 8 Rules, said Pilgrim. "Let's move. This is where the monster spirit lives, and Master has to be in the house." Strengthened by the presence of his companions, our idiot unleashed his violence and delivered as hard a blow as he could on the stone door, making a huge, gaping hole in it. "Fiend!" he cried. "Send my master out quickly, lest this muckrake tear down the door and finish off your entire household." Those little monsters guarding the door hurried inside to report. "Great King, we've brought on a disaster." "What disaster?" asked the old fiend. "Someone has broken through our front door. replied one of the little monsters, yelling for his master. Astounded, the old fiend said, "I wonder whoever could have found his way here." "Don't be afraid," said the vanguard. "Let me go out and have a look." This little fiend dashed up to the front door and stuck his head out sideways through the hole to look around. When he saw the huge snout and large ears, he at once turned back and called out, "Great King, don't be afraid of him. This is Jew 8 Rules, who has not much ability and won't dare be unruly. If he does, we'll open our door and take him in here to be prepared and steamed. The only person we need fear is the monk with a hairy face and a thunder god beak." When he heard this through the door, 8 Rules said, "Oh, elder brother, he's not afraid of me but only of you. Master has to be in his house. You go forward quickly." "Lawless cursed beast," shouted Pilgrim. "Your grandpa's son is here. Send out my master and I'll spare your life." "Great King," said the vanguard, "it's bad. Pilgrim's son has found his way here." The old fiend began to reprehend him, saying, "It's all because of that so-called parted petals plan of yours that disaster has descended on our door. How will this end?" "Please relax, Great King," said the vanguard, "and don't find fault with me. I recall that Pilgrim's son happens to be a kind and forbearing ape. Though he may possess vast magic powers, he also loves flattery. Let us take out a fake human head to deceive him a little, and flatter him a little, too, with a few words. Just tell him that we have devoured his master. If we can deceive him, the Tang monk will be ours for enjoyment. If we can't, we'll try something else." "Where shall we find a fake human head?" asked the old fiend. The vanguard said, "Let's see if I could make one." Marvelous fiend. Using a steel axe, he cut off a lump of willow root, shaped it into a skull, and threw some human blood on it. In this gory fashion the head was taken out to the door on a lacquered tray by a small fiend who called out, "Holy Father Great Sage, please calm your anger and allow me to report to you." Pilgrim's son was indeed susceptible to flattery. When he heard the Holy Father Great Sage, he stopped 8 Rules, saying, "Let's not move yet and see what they have to say. After your master had been taken into the cave by our great king," said the little fiend holding the tray. Those uncouth young fiends of ours did not know any better than to try to swallow him at once. Some tore at him, while others gnawed at him. Your master was thus devoured, and all we have left here is his head. "It's all right if he's been devoured," said Pilgrim. "But show me the head and let me see if it's real." The little fiend threw out the head through the hole in the door. The moment Jew 8 Rules saw it, he began to weep, saying, "How pitiful! We had one kind of master entering through this door, but now we have this kind of master coming out." "Idiot," said Pilgrim. "Why don't you try to determine whether this is a real human head before you start weeping? Aren't you ashamed of yourself?" said 8 Rules. "Could there be a false human head?" "This happens to be a false one," replied Pilgrim. "How can you tell?" asked 8 Rules. "If you threw down a real human head," said Pilgrim, "it would fall on the ground with a dull thud, whereas a false head would make a loud rattle. If you don't believe me, let me throw it down for you to hear." He took it up and hurled it against a boulder, and it produced a loud clang. "Elder brother," said Sha Monk, "it rattles, all right." "If it rattles," said Pilgrim, "it's a false one. Let me bring out its true form." Whipping out his golden hooped rod, he cracked it open with one blow. 8 Rules looked more closely and discovered that it was only a lump of willow root. Unable to contain himself, 8 Rules began to utter a string of abuses, crying, "You bunch of hairy clods! You have already hidden my master in the cave, and yet you dare use a lump of willow root to deceive your ancestor hog. Could my master have been a willow spirit? The little fiend who held the tray was so horrified that he shook all over as he ran back to report. Hard. 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 Why so many hards? Asked the old fiend. The little fiend said. Both Jew 8 Rules and Sha Monk were deceived, but Pilgrimson happens to be an antique dealer who knows his stuff. He recognized the fact that it was a false human head. If you could find a real head for him, you might be able to send him away. Where could I find one? Said the old fiend. Ah, I know. In our skinning pavilion we still have several human heads that haven't been eaten yet. Go pick one out for us. A few of the fiends went immediately to the pavilion and selected a fresh head, which they then gnawed at until it was slick and smooth. The little fiend carried it out to the front again on a tray, crying, Holy Father, great sage, the previous one was indeed a false head. This one, however, is the true head of Father Tang. Our great king has kept it as a talisman for the house, but we're presenting it to you now. With a thud, the head was thrown out through the hole in the door, and it rolled all over, still dripping blood. When Pilgrimson saw that it was a real human head, he had no choice but to weep. 8 Rules and Sha Monk, too, joined in the loud wailing. As he tried to hold back his tears, 8 Rules said, Elder brother, let's not cry just yet. The weather isn't so good right now, and I fear that it may stink. Let me take it somewhere to have it buried while it's still fresh. Then we can cry some more. You're quite right, replied Pilgrim. Not revolted, our idiot hugged the head to his bosom and ran up the mountain ledge. Having found a spot facing the sun where the wind and air would be collected, he used his rake to dig a hole to try to bury the head. Then he built a grave mound and called out to Sha Monk. You and elder brother can stay here and weep.